almost falls down. Throws to the end zone. Owens! Owens! Owens!
It will change, and I'm not trying to tell you something. It's going to change. It's not like that, okay? But I want you to understand where I'm coming from. It will change, and it will change because they wanted to change, not because of me. It will change because they want to be champions.
Smith in the gun, LaCour on his left hip. Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking, got it, post, and it's good! Touchdown, 49! Vernon Davis with the play of his life. It all comes to this fourth down. 4th and 4 at the San Francisco 10. Ryan in a shotgun. Rodgers to his left. 3 receivers right. Ryan takes the snap. Looking, pressure, throws middle. Broken up by Navarro Bowman. And the 49ers silence the house.
All right, cons, here we are. What's up? It's Merry Christmas to you and yours. What's his name? It's number 17, Emmanuel Sanders, gifted us all. I mean, that was a Jimmy G, dropped a fucking bomb like Santa fucking jerking off from his sleigh, and it landed right in that motherfucker's hands.
As you said last year, Santa's got a bag full of cum, or something like that.
Oh, yeah. All right, Madison.
A ball bag full of cum.
That's
Sounds
right.
like Joe.
It sounds like something I might say. We are recording, oddly enough, on the Sunday night. I don't know when we're going to release these. You'll get them when we give them to you. But the 49ers beat the fucking Rams. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's coming up with the fucking final game of the year. The Seahawks there. But Steve is itching and scratching and clawing to get at the news, injuries, and updates segment of this motherfucker. So I'm going to let him go, and then I'll come back.
I was hoping you had a little bit more.
Okay, I can keep going.
Keep going.
All right. So what I'd like to talk about here is, so we all watched the game, right? And as I was explaining to you guys earlier, I was gearing up to watch the game, gathering the items I need, necessary, good luck cat, rig, the whole thing,
Rat?
And, no, the product that goes in the rig was what I was going to say. So then Baby comes to me and says, Daddy, I'm going out. I'm going out with my mother. They were going to her brother's Christmas party. So I was home alone for most of the game. But what I did...
You didn't go to the Christmas party?
Oh, come on, guy. It's a open, known policy with me that I will miss funerals or weddings. If you want me there, don't schedule it during a Niner game. Not doing it. Game priority over anything.
Every season or just winning season or...
I mean, it's been pretty much... I mean, I've missed very few games in the past 15, 20 years. But I mean, especially since I've really become a selfish adult, I really, really, really don't... Very few things I'll miss games for.
That's fair.
Yeah. So regardless, I was watching the game, pick 6 at the end of the first half. I know, Steve's going to get to that. And then, the seesaw battle that kind of was the third. And then the next thing I know, Baby's standing in front of me being like, what the fuck are you doing? I passed out. I fell asleep from like 15, like right as the fourth quarter started until the game-winning drive started. So I've since went back and watched it, but I was like, what the fuck? I don't believe I fell asleep. Like I was blown away when Baby.
I think that's a little too much rig.
Do you ever see...
How do you fall asleep during that game?
You ever see Billy Madison?
Huh?
You ever see Billy Madison?
Yeah.
Did you fall asleep or did you pass out?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say that Rob.
I think let me think. The daddy version of that would be, did you fall asleep or did you nod out?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I had nobody else there to keep me like I was just totally, I was peak comfort. I was sprawled out. I had the heat cranked to like 78, my hand on my balls, cat on my chest, and then whew. Right out. But I was shocked. I was shocked when I came to. I was like, whoa. So, glad that we got that one.
You were not the only one that fell asleep during the game.
Who was that? Well, I mean,
Gee, who saw that coming?
he falls asleep during a live recording. You know what I mean? So,
He brings his dog over here to watch it with me.
oh my God,
I turn.
Oh, the dog's a fan?
Yeah, dog's a fan.
What do the two dogs do together?
Depends on what time of the day it is.
Sniff each other's asses, probably?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're two pretty high energy dogs.
It's about midway through the second quarter. I glance over. He's passed out on my recliner, and his dog's passed out right next to him. I'm like, well, I'm glad you two came over to hang out with me.
Yeah, buddy.
Had the same breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, but, the Niners came through. I guess we should say this first. I mean, yeah, it's not in the news, injuries, or updates, and it's the ultimate injury, but RIP to the C.J. Beathard's brother, who was stabbed to death this Saturday evening, right? I believe Saturday, right?
Friday.
It was Friday, I think.
Friday, actually, yeah. So, prayers out to him and his. It's never a good look.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
He was a quarterback for his high school, junior.
He was playing college ball,
Or he was playing
right?
college ball, yeah,
I believe
yeah.
so, but I don't think at quarterback.
He was a quarterback.
Oh, he was?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it was a D1 school. I don't even think it was a D2 school, but still.
Kittle called him a ball of positivity, and coming from that ball of positivity, it means something. So, yeah.
Yeah, those pressers were hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was.
And the locker room post game, that was
for
hard
sure.
to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this week's Gold Blooded podcast will be dedicated to whoever that guy is.
Clayton Beathard.
There you go.
Clayton Beathard. All right.
Pour out a little liquor for him.
Injuries and updates. Kwaski Tart, Julian Taylor, and D Ford all did not play this week, and they're all day to day.
I don't have much update because we're on Sunday here.
Yeah.
Just based on how it's gone, I'm kind of banking on Tart playing. Julian Taylor, I'm not sure, and I would be surprised if D Ford played.
Did you see? I saw a picture of Jet Ski Pop Tart today. He's got great hair. Great.
Okay.
So before you go on, before I forget, and it falls into that category, we talked about Quan Alexander's long shot to come back.
Mm-hmm.
He's not eligible to return until championship weekend if we get that far.
Okay.
So we couldn't. There's no way that he could come back until championship weekend if we make it to championship weekend and he's even remotely thinking about coming back.
Gotcha.
He's got to be on IR for 8 weeks.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. See, that's what I was wondering. Like, we put him on IR, but the window that usually comes during week 9 or something is already passed.
It's not week 9. It's 8 weeks.
It's 8 weeks from the time
Whatever.
that he goes on IR.
Correct.
And we can only bring back 2 players, though.
Correct.
Now, we've already brought back Contavious Street.
Correct.
And haven't we brought back one more? No?
No. We
Okay.
thought about bringing back Jason Verrett,
Yeah.
but instead we re-signed Dante Big Dick Johnson.
Everybody thought Trent Taylor,
Yeah.
but that just never came
No,
to
there's no other
fruition.
one. We still have an open slot.
Okay.
And then the other person that somebody mentioned was Selleck, I think, but by the time he went, he's not eligible to come back.
Okay. Richard Sherman and K'Wan Williams played this week. Richard Sherman getting dinged up a few times, but he was back out there. Tavarius Moore
We'll get to that. Sorry.
is in concussion protocol. He left the game and did not return. Now, when did that happen? Are you sure?
I don't know. That's the only in-game injury.
Okay.
I saw it. I mean, no, I saw the same report.
I don't remember it happening or anybody
Yeah.
pointing it out
It
during
happened
the game.
on a special teams play.
Okay.
Special teams tackle he made. Something like that.
Dante Pettis and Mike Person were both active, but played 0 snaps. So that meant that Daniel... Joe?
Daniel.
Yeah, run skill.
Our backup right tackle fills in at right guard for Mike Person and played admirably. I mean,
That's his 7th start at his third position,
yeah.
and that broke a streak of 30 starts for Mike Person.
Now, we'll get into the actual game itself, but I thought he played good. And
Was Person hurt or what? What's the deal there?
Nope, that's why I put it up there.
Yeah, it's odd. Yeah.
He just didn't play good last week.
he played like shit against Atlanta. I remember that. So, I mean, they obviously felt comfortable about doing this. They must have seen what Brunskill's done in training camp or throughout the course of the season to have confidence in playing right guard. He's probably played right guard at various times throughout his life. All right, and next week's game against Seattle has officially been flexed to Sunday night.
Woohoo!
So that will be the final game of the regular season.
Of the 100th NFL regular season.
Could the league have dreamed up a bigger fucking game for their final game?
That means the fix will be in.
Well, a bigger game would be like a win and you're in. Like all that's really it for is a bye and home field. Like they're both in.
And the West.
Yeah, but they're both in.
Well, when you have a win and in scenario, it's typically two teams that aren't that good.
But it means more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think it's huge, especially for a team like
big.
Seattle
and
the environment that they provide up there.
Wait, well, that game today was up there, right?
Well, this year's weird because all their losses are at home.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, they're not the same at home. They're tougher on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway.
But it's still huge. I mean, it's huge, obviously.
Yeah.
And also because the last time they played, it was so epic. It's not going to be. You can't have two epic games like that against the same team.
Yep.
It's just not. It'll never be
I think
that way.
the rivalry that was built up throughout the Harbaugh years is still fresh in everybody's mind. People don't forget that. It was only 6 years ago.
It's not a raging fire, but it's still hot embers.
Yeah.
And like Sherman being around helps that.
Sherman.
That feeds that fire a little bit.
All right. So, yeah, that's massive. I am fucking jacked up for that.
Are you gonna sacrifice
jacked
something
up.
before it?
What, like my dog?
Not your dog.
Jeez, somebody went straight to fucking killing their dog, huh?
Maybe
That didn't take long.
Yeah, I would have said maybe a squirrel or Chris's dog
Jeez.
first.
A squirrel or Chris's dog?
Or maybe a neighbor's annoying barking
Yeah,
dog.
something.
Jump right to your dog. Jeez.
Okay. Well, I guess we got that out of the way. Steve won the prediction game. Good for you.
Yeah.
You got a couple this year, you
Chris,
twat.
if you could
in the lead.
be so kindly to scroll down a little bit, we could look at the totals.
Got a 2-game lead. It's over.
It's over. I win the prediction. The guy that picks losses won the 49ers score prediction game for the season.
And hasn't picked a loss.
Yeah?
Not all year.
That wouldn't have got him very far this year.
All right, getting into the game. Offense. Let's see. Where am
Come
I?
on, you fuck!
So I don't have an off the top as if I usually have. So yeah, this was shot.
This
less than
game sucked anyway.
24 hours after the game. So the offense gets on the field after a great return by Richie James to get us down into.
How hard was your dick? Did you think it was going to the house?
I thought that was going to the
I
house
did.
for
No
sure.
flags anywhere. Nothing, too.
Yeah.
I was looking. That's what my main concern was at that juncture. I was looking for a
He had
flag.
some beautiful cuts on that
Yeah, I
run, too.
just fucking couldn't get in there.
They get it all the way to the inside the 20, and then we get one first down, and then the drive stalls out. You had a bad snap on the first down play inside the 10, and then you had a screen pass on second down that went nowhere, and we had to settle for a field goal after they went down the entire field and scored 7. That was brutal.
Not a good start.
Oh, that was such a typical,
That felt like an utter failure after an 80-yard kickoff return.
Yeah.
Like, what a waste.
Yep.
And then, the offense just can't move the ball at all. They end up going 3 and out, and then on the next drive after that, Jimmy gets intercepted by Ramsey. I don't know. He didn't see him. Ramsey undercut Emmanuel Sanders, who he was going for. Just one of those.
Yeah, I couldn't watch as closely, but
Yeah, it wasn't.
it was a typical Jimmy, boneheaded. Seen 5 of them this year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was a typical off somebody's fucking hands, right?
Yeah, off of like 12 people's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, if you're going to be intercepted by Jalen Ramsey,
It wasn't really a Jalen Rams, like anybody, any secondary player that was jumping that route was getting that pick. It was a pretty clean interception. It just shouldn't have been thrown. But Jimmy does respond after interceptions. I don't know if you know this. I don't have the exact stats, but his statistical drives after throwing an interception are like absurd. So then we get back on the field. We get screen passes to Debo and Juice back-to-back for big gains, and then the handoff to Debo Samuel that goes for a 19-yard touchdown.
That was all Devo.
That was sweet.
That last 10 yards,
Yeah.
that was all Devo.
Yeah, able to stay in bounds down the sideline. And then we put together a nice drive a little bit later on. We got contributions from Sanders, Bourne, and that drive was capped off with a perfectly blocked run for Mostert for like a 12-yard rushing touchdown.
Seemingly untouched.
Oh, completely untouched. George Kittle and Mike McGlinchey just in the run game are dominant. Like, I don't care if Kyle Shanahan doesn't run to the left side ever again. Just keep running to the right side.
Did you see McGlinchey dancing after the game?
I
Did
did.
you see that clip? That's a big man moving.
Yep. So, after getting sacked a few times in the late third and early fourth quarter.
I love that you're just like a 15-year-old when you get a microphone in front of you.
Yep.
I can't wait till the day he stands up and farts on it. Then we can just all go home.
He hasn't done that already?
I'm sure he has.
No, I try not to fart here because then if it stunk like shit, I'm that asshole. I don't want to be that guy.
So the offense pretty much through the entire third quarter was dog shit. I mean, if you don't, the first drive
Yeah, it was painful. That's probably what lulled me to sleep.
out of halftime, yeah, it probably was, seriously.
Yeah, probably not the drugs.
The first drive out of halftime, Jimmy tries throwing a pass to, I believe it was Emmanuel Sanders, and he gets tipped around 12 times. Defenders end up picking it up. And then after that, the offense just can't move the ball at all. And then they're getting home to Jimmy. I think he took 3 sacks in 2 series, and then eventually we're backed up inside our own 20, and on 2nd and 5, Jimmy takes it into his own hands or legs and rushes for a first down.
It was not pretty.
No.
He was under duress most of the game. He didn't look very comfortable. I think that O-line is really struggling, and that needs to get straightened out ASAP.
I think that they devoted a lot of attention to Aaron Donald, and I think that while they did a pretty good job with him, that opened up some shit for all of the other guys that they have.
I think one thing moving forward about it will be, the extra day that we have versus Seattle playing Saturday, and hopefully Seattle's injuries. They got some injuries on their D-line, right? I believe.
What's the latest on Clowney? Did he play today?
I don't believe so.
Chris,
I got
what's
it.
going on with Jadeveon Clowney?
Jadavion.
So after that long lull from the offense through pretty much the entire third quarter, we get a drive that gets springboarded by a big pass to George Kittle that pretty much woke up the entire stadium. I think everybody after that play was like, finally, something. And then after that, there was a 12-yard run on by Tevin Coleman, and then Jimmy throws a big pass to Ross Dwelly over the middle.
RD.
Takes a big hit, gets flagged. The LA gets flagged for a helmet to helmet or I don't know the exact wording of the unnecessary roughness or whatever.
Some pussy bullshit, to be completely honest.
Anyway, that moves us further down the field, and then that drive was capped off by Jimmy getting out of the pocket and finding George Kittle for a touchdown.
That was all Jimmy, that fucking thing.
I
mean, obviously, George made the catch in traffic, but he made that play happen.
Yep, that is some franchise quarterback stuff.
Javadian, whatever the fuck his name is. He didn't play today.
He did not play today.
He's not in the box score.
How many games has he missed?
I don't know.
Let's see. He's been ruled. Here, we'll look at
Did
his
it say
game
for
log
illness?
right here.
Did it say for illness?
Yeah, like AIDS.
Okay, so he played in week 14. He hasn't played.
It says his core issue.
But it says he's battling through the flu in addition to the injury. So that was 2 weeks ago.
He'll
and
be
then
back.
week 16 didn't play against the Cardinals. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him next week.
He's a fucking nightmare, that guy.
He was in the last game, but if you look at him play against other teams this year, he only looked like that in that one game he played against us.
Well, then that's all I need to know.
If that's the case, then that's why he didn't play this week.
Right.
They're waiting, storing that up.
And then we get back to this is where Joe woke up. Final drive.
Yeah, his baby was standing there, hands on her hips, like, I can't believe you're sleeping, dumb fuck.
She's calling you out.
Yeah, I was shocked. I said, all right, bitch, let's go.
Back to back, 3rd and 16 conversions.
Yeah.
That first one was just a fucking dart.
That was a nail biter, though, that first one.
Yeah.
That was a cedar. I mean, I woke up and my heart was like, it was like a fucking adrenaline shot. Woo!
I was watching. I was not expecting at that point in the game. Once we got to a 3rd and 16, that's when I started feeling like we weren't going to win this game. Was that first 3rd and 16? And then
I
we
wasn't
converted.
really sure. I didn't know what had really gone on up to that point. So at
Yeah.
that point, I'm like,
You didn't have a feeling.
I'm like, all right, we're tied. I don't know what's going to happen here, but fuck it, 3rd and 16. And then, because Bourne had to run for a couple, right? He had to run.
He like fell backwards.
Yeah, so I was like, is he going to get it? I was like, it was a little sketchy. And then on the second one, when he let it go, I was like, oh, fuck this. Not a fucking chance. Like, I said, no way. Not a fucking chance. And then I saw him wide open, and I'm like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, that's not something that we've seen a lot this season. Was a deep pass to a receiver that's running wide open. Normally, our deep shots to receivers are receivers that are clearly covered, and Jimmy, well, so far this season has underthrown some of them, and they haven't been on point. But on this particular day, he drops a dime to Emmanuel Sanders.
Like the hand of God came down and dropped it there.
And I texted you guys about this last night that ball that he threw traveled 54 yards.
But they say the play was only 46 yards.
Well, I'm counting the yardage that Jimmy's dropped back from the line of scrimmage.
I got you.
Just the amount of yardage that ball traveled was
You're right.
54 yards.
Because I counted it, and I'm like, that's 54, but it's telling me 46. I
Yeah.
don't understand. Oh, I got you.
54 yards without being able to step into his throw, with like pressure bearing down on his knees. Like he could not move forward to step into that. That was all arm.
You know why?
Why?
Because his dick acted as a tripod. It's that fucking big, and gave him the stability and the strength in the body to get it done.
Second team in the past 40 years to convert multiple 3rd or 4th down attempts of 15 yards or more on a game-winning drive.
Wow.
How would we say the first number again?
The second team in 40 years.
Wow.
Who's the other team?
Doesn't say.
The 1984 49ers.
I mean, it just doesn't get any more clutch than that. And it's gotten to the point where, like, if anybody says that George Kittle isn't the best tight end in football, I just don't even, like, it doesn't rile me up. I just don't take you seriously anymore.
He's one of the best players in football.
If somebody says that Jimmy G isn't a franchise quarterback, it's on that same boat. I just don't even take your opinion seriously anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even get me upset.
I got some fresh updates.
Okay.
Moore is still in the concussion protocol. That extra day this week might help. D Ford not expecting to play, like you said. Julian Ford saw some work last week and could return.
Julian Taylor.
Julian Taylor, what did I say?
Julian Ford.
What the fuck? Tart, they'll see how his ribs feel on Tuesday.
Okay.
So pretty much what you said, but those are from Shanahan today. Yeah, that drive.
He had another presser today because he had the post game last night.
These are from today, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, I was only able to watch. I've only had time to watch his post game presser. I didn't watch anybody else's. None of that.
These might
yet.
just be an update from Mayoko talking to him. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Offense, fucking dry spells at times.
Brutal.
But at other times, fucking money. And I think that they understand that they need to be more consistent, but I think that we're not heading into this next game against Seattle thinking that we're fucked. Because we saw enough from the offense in this game to believe that they can do it, and it doesn't matter how bad it looks at times, they can always pull themselves out of it. They never let anything get too bad to the point where they can't overcome it.
I have to feel like it was a bit of an emotional dump on the team with Beathard and his brother.
Yeah.
And also Shanahan said he spent an hour with CJ when CJ found out, and that was at like 3 a.m. So Shanahan was up presumably all night before the game. These guys had to be on no sleep. They had to be finding out, they were getting text messages in the morning. It had to be a wild day.
Especially because a lot of those guys are close. Like, they do shit in the offseason together. And
well,
like
him and Kittle played ball together, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Iowa. Yep. Yeah, they were roommates, too. Not just teammates, they were roommates.
So I think that has more effect than people realize. Like the game last year when they lost, what's his name? One with the fucking women
Marquise?
problems.
Goodwin's.
Oh,
No,
Ruben. Yeah.
Like, that game was a shit show.
Yeah.
And it seems like it was just an emotional wreck for everybody.
Yeah. That was last season. That feels like
Right?
2 seasons ago.
Wasn't it?
At this point. No, it was last season, but doesn't it feel like 2 seasons ago? Like Reuben Foster's been gone forever, but he's really only been gone for a year.
Fuck him.
See, Caden Smith had 2 touchdowns today.
What'd I say?
That's the only player from the 2019 draft that's not in the team anymore.
Yeah.
And he made 2 touchdowns. So that's a pretty good draft. If we're still using all of them except one, and the one that's not with us is scoring touchdowns for the Giants.
I fucking loved that Caden Smith pick. And I said at the time, hadn't Caden Smith returned to Stanford and played another year of college ball, he probably would have been a top 3 round pick in this upcoming draft. But he declared a little too early, I think.
And now seeing where our tight end situation, I mean, they like Dwelly, obviously.
Yeah,
But
it would hurt a lot more if we didn't have George Kittle, which, you know, it's whatever. We let Caden Smith go, but it's like, fuck, I saw this. I saw, you know, whatever. Defense. Opening drive. Rams open up the game, and there's been quite a few teams that have done this to us this year, where they open up the game running a lot of misdirection, and they got our defenders running all over the field, sideline to sideline, tiring them out, and it works. And they cap off a drive with a touchdown to Brandon Cooks. Witherspoon, super weak at that catch point, and wasn't able to get his hands in there to bet the ball down or even intercept it. Not a good start.
no.
No, that drive was, yeah. I mean, I wasn't concerned because I'm like, they're going to settle in, but it was pretty fucking ridiculous.
Witherspoon didn't have a good game at all.
Nope.
That whole rollout and pass bullshit really had those boys confused.
And what's crazy is that we've seen this throughout this season. I don't understand why you can't make adjustments during a drive. Like, how is that not possible to make adjustments during a drive as opposed to wait until the drive's over?
And especially, like, I mean, we didn't expect the Rams to bootleg with Jared Goff.
No.
And that's their game
And
plan.
you get burned
That's
one
what they
play,
did. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
twice, okay. But, like, this
Watch
is
out for that.
5
Yeah.
times in a row.
I mean, one thing to say, though, the Rams were playing for more or less eliminated. I mean, they were eliminated, you know what I mean? So they were you know, and I'm not saying the 49ers weren't playing that way, but, you know, similar to how it was the Falcons Super Bowl, I think it kind of had that same kind of heave-ho, Hail Mary vibe for the fucking Rams. I think that's kind of what that offensive game plan was a little bit. That was my take on it, but what the fuck.
So, but after a poor opening drive, the defense did appear to make some really good adjustments, and they forced 3 and outs on 2 series after that. They
were
really
pretty.
start stiffening up. And then later on, they start running more misdirection, and it still ends up working. And what I'm realizing is that with Goff running out of the pocket and the pass rush not getting there on time, you're asking way too much of your secondary players to cover players for that long. They shouldn't be required to run with receivers for any longer than 4 seconds, because after 3.5 seconds, that pass rush should be home.
For sure.
So that's tough. They got to figure out what to do with that, because I guarantee you Seattle's going to do the same exact thing next week with Russell Wilson.
Especially with Russell.
Marcel Harris getting flagged for unnecessary roughness at the first down marker, right where Jared Goff is fucking half-ass sliding. Like, there's nothing he can do there.
You just got to not hit him.
If you don't hit him, you let him get the first down.
Or you got to put your hand on him.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to
You
blow
just
real
gotta
hard.
touch him.
Stop. It's ridiculous.
Stop running. Stop. You have to do it like that.
Got to pull his flags out of his waistband.
It's just a no-win situation for defenders.
Fucking stupid.
And then later on...
When it goes to flag football on the quarterback is when I'm retiring from the Gold Blooded podcast.
And then on that
Straight up.
drive, it's where Richard Sherman slips on the perimeter and Todd Gurley's able to get around the outside for a touchdown.
Ugh.
Ugh. But
Richard Sherman almost had that interception at the end of the game. That was frustrating.
that wasn't Sherman. That was Marcel Harris.
I thought it was Sherman.
Yeah, don't get confused with the dreads. Get your dreads right.
Fucking racist.
I was.
Black guy with dreads.
Yeah, black guy with dreads. Definitely went to
Yeah,
Stanford.
must be the same guy.
Bet he's smart.
That play, I don't even know when it was during the game, but it made me want to pick up my iPad and smash it over any Rams fan's fucking head. When Gurley was in the backfield, he gets the ball and the O lineman is blocking Armstead, and he peels off just in time to grab Gurley by the shoulder pads and fucking power slam him. He went nowhere.
Yep.
He made him look like a child. He looked like if I had to tackle my 6-year-old. That's what Armstead did to him.
Armstead had a good game.
He's a fucking big... He's had a lot of good games in a row. He is a big boy, and he fucking power slammed him like a child.
The throughout this entire season, I've just assumed that Armstead's gone.
I don't think so.
Because we can't afford him. He's starting to make a case to be a priority re-sign. So, things are looking a little bleak. Looking like we're going to go into halftime trailing. But who shows up?
Fast Freddy.
All-pro Freddy. All fucking pro Fred Warner.
Steady. I'm going to stick with steady Fred.
I like Fast Freddy.
With the pick six.
He took it to the house.
Was that the biggest defensive play of the year when we needed it the most?
It was pretty fucking big.
It was pretty big.
I think it was. It might not have been the biggest defensive play made this year, but I think it was balance it out with how bad do you need this to when it happens and what the outcome ends up being. I think that goes for defensive play of the year.
Especially with us getting the ball back after half.
Yeah.
Like, it was, everything about it was huge. If we didn't come out and throw a pick out of half with, the tipped ball pick, it would have seemingly been bigger because we could have opened that game up and it could have been over.
Yep. So, defense, after being forced out onto the field inside their own 25-yard line after the opening second half interception by Jimmy,
stiffened up.
They're able to force a 3-and-out, and on third down, force an intentional grounding flag on Jared Goff.
Yeah, that
I
drive.
didn't know. I saw that highlight. It was fucked up for me.
That whole drive accumulated, I think, a total of negative 20-something yards.
Yep. And it made them attempt a 52-yard field goal, which he shanked.
Yeah, huge defensive series.
And that intentional grounding flag came about 3 intentional groundings too late because before that, he had intentionally grounded multiple times.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that somebody went and talked to the refs and be like, listen, this is what
Even
he's doing.
the announcers were like, oh, that ball, it didn't get back to the line of scrimmage or something. I was like, no, he was in the pocket.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
He's in the fucking pocket. What are you talking about?
If you're in the pocket, the ball needs to be within a certain vicinity of a receiver.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the line of
Because
scrimmage.
I saw one that looked like a safety. It was like in the end, like he was in his end zone when he threw it.
Oh, you're talking about... Well, he threw it at Gurley's feet.
Yeah, if they throw it at someone's feet,
Okay.
it's
I
close
didn't know.
enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
If there's a receiver close enough. The funny thing is that's more intentional grounding than the intentional grounding that get called, but it's at someone's feet, so you could theoretically it could be a pass.
Yeah.
But the rule is, I believe the rule is, if you're outside of the pocket, you just have to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
But if you're in the pocket, it has to be near a receiver, period. Doesn't matter, none of that matters.
Correct.
And the announcers got it wrong, too. No, he was in the pocket, you fuck.
Yep. So, the defense forces another 3-and-out later in the game with the Rams pinned inside their own 5-yard line.
Ooh, that was pretty.
And, I mean, the defense in this game, granted there were some ugly drives where they couldn't stop shit, but there were certain stretches in this game where the Rams literally could not do jack shit.
You know what the difference was?
What's that?
Everybody was rotated in a lot more. They didn't play every snap.
Yes. If you look at like
Snap counts are
Bosa,
way different.
Yeah, for the 3, Bosa, Armstead, and Buckner,
They got some rest.
they only played like 50 of the 75 defensive snaps, where in prior weeks they had played 90%.
Every yeah.
Yeah.
There was
I
a
read that.
concerted
You read
effort
that
to get them
article
some
too?
rest.
Yeah.
No, I just
And-
saw the snap counts.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, based on this week and the Falcons game, similar stories where they got tons of pressure, but not really any sacks. So, I mean, did we get a single sack this week?
No.
Not one.
Not
That's
one.
insane. But there was tons of pressure all game, and Jared Goff was intentionally grounding 5 times before he finally got flagged for one.
Yeah, intentional grounding should be a sack, too.
Yes.
That's how they treat it.
Right.
They treat it like a sack. You lose
Lost
the
it,
down, and
you
the
lose
ball's
the
where
down.
you threw it.
Yep.
That should be a sack. Otherwise, you just cheat all the time. You get no sacks.
A little later in the game, Witherspoon, continuing to have a rough night, gives up a big pass to Woods midway through the third quarter, and then a few plays later, he gets beat over the middle by Cooper Kupp for a very easy
Cooper Kupp.
touchdown. I mean, it pretty much walked in. What happened
Flags
there?
everywhere. He made some fucking pretty cuts, first of all.
Spencer Ware, we got the Sunday night game going here.
But the flags came from fucking everywhere. Look, I think a helicopter dropped off one of them.
I thought Spencer Ware was selling shoes.
He made some beautiful cuts.
And then last note I got on the defense is the Marcel Harris dropped interception.
Oh.
Now, wasn't he also the one that fucked up Freddie's interception last week in Atlanta or facing Atlanta?
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, that one was so... I was like, ah!
it is fucking feast or famine with this dude because he'll drop an interception and then on the very next play he'll
Strip
make
fumble, strip sack,
a
or some
great
shit.
fucking contested pass breakup. He's feast or famine.
Ugh, it was so painful. It hit him so... It was so easily intercepted.
I got a little bit of a ditty here.
Do it.
Something I think that we
A
should
do-a-ditty.
I think we should give a little, I don't know, hat tip to this motherfucker.
Diddle me.
Is Mitchie Wisnowski.
Mitch Wish.
He had 5 punts. 4 of those bitches were inside the 20.
That's big.
Come on, you cunt. Where are you with these stats?
I didn't get to special teams yet.
This,
I-
by the
I
way,
didn't
is
have that
why
anyway.
you use a draft pick on a punter.
Right.
Not named Bradley Pinion.
Right. I mean, that guy.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
That guy was a child
This one's
molester
paying off.
from the jump. Yeah. I mean, listen. That's a no-brainer. I mean, I don't know who looked at fucking that guy Pinion and was like, yeah, he's a man. I want to be on my team. The fuck out of here. No way. No, I would. Nope. No way.
I love what I've seen from Mitch Wishnowski,
Agreed. Me too.
but at the time, the guy that we passed up on to take Mitch Wishnowski is starting safety for New Orleans Saints, having a hell of a year. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, which was a guy I wanted. So I will always compare Mitch Wishnowski to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It'll be interesting to see how far Chauncey goes.
He had 4 inside the 20.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing great.
So it's that time for the Beast of the Week, so you can suck me from the backside.
Offensive Beast of the Week. Could make a case for quite a few guys, but I'm going with horsecock Jimmy Garoppolo.
What?
It wasn't perfect, but when you needed him the most on the final drive, he fucking delivered on 3rd down twice to win the game. He won that game.
Same. Ditto. Twofer.
I'm going to give it to Debo because he hasn't gotten one from me this year, and he did a little bit of everything. I like a wide receiver that runs the ball in.
I didn't know that we handed out participation trophies.
He scored a touchdown, you cunt.
He had a good game,
Yeah, he didn't have 2 interceptions.
but my reasoning wouldn't be because I haven't given him one yet.
Well, that's what listen, I don't debate your reasons. It's my award to give out how I see fit.
It's true. It's also true he didn't have 2 interceptions. It's also true he didn't make a single play on the game-winning drive.
That's right.
Defensive Beast of the Week.
He was blocking.
Greenlaw's starting to rack up those tackles, huh?
Greenlaw's having some good games. I mean, I think we've got a linebacker.
Starting to rack them up.
I think you guys go
Mine's
first.
easy, but I was giving
Yeah, I'm
somebody
going
else.
Armstead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going Fred Warner. The pick 6 before the half?
Yeah. Armstead just dominated that inside of that line.
Yeah. I can't argue with Armstead. Joe?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you, Steve. It's got to be Steady Fred. He seems
I think
to be the leader there.
Part of my pick is that I think Armstead is the defensive MVP of the second half.
Yeah, hard to argue. I mean, he's stepped up where kind of Bosa had it in the first half. He's kind of been doing it in the second half.
Yeah, I think there's no question. Everybody would say Nick Bosa was our defensive MVP the first half.
Yeah, what did
Of
he,
the season.
Yeah.
What did he have that? Armstead last week had that stat 4 quarterback hits, I believe, or something.
Yeah, he's been
it was
an
last week.
animal.
Yeah,
He's been a
something
fucking
crazy.
wrecking ball.
Yep. Yeah, he's just not getting recognized because we're not getting home.
What does Salah say? Wreaking havoc.
Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times throughout this game where Jared Goff was clearly
Game
rattled.
wrecker. Game wrecker. Even Solomon Thomas had a pass defended, knocked one down.
He did.
Old
And
Solly.
he almost made a big tackle.
So
about,
close.
You know which one
Yeah,
I'm talking
I
about?
saw,
Tackle
yeah.
for a loss. He was out there.
I see that 94 out there.
You want to sing Jingle Bells before we go today?
0% chance.
Okay. I really don't like Christmas carols either.
Salami sandwich. Oh, no, that's Thanksgiving.
Any holiday where you get banished to a room from your family, it's always
Salami sandwich.
okay.
You know what I've been making? Pre-sliced pepperoni
Okay.
and cheese sandwiches with mayo.
What kind of cheese?
American?
Oh. I think American.
You obviously toast the bread.
No,
I think American cheese can fuck
What?
off.
just a straight up American cheese pepperoni mayonnaise sandwich.
100% cold,
Yep.
not melted or
Nope.
squished or nothing.
Nope.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue it.
You never had a spicy Italian from Subway?
I have, but
I'm not a huge pepperoni guy, but like I would just do salami, pepperoni.
No,
I'm sorry, salami, provolone, mayo is
Okay.
how I would go different.
and bologna,
Yeah.
right?
No, fuck you and bologna, fucking jail meat. Okay.
All right. Email us, goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Instagram, goldblooded podcast, no underscores. Twitter, goldblooded pod.
Yeah.
Patreon,
Yeah.
go to patreon.com/goldblooded podcast, donate.
Yeah.
And in the next
Review.
episode,
Oh, you gotta tell them to review.
review.
Tell them.
Leave us a review.
Do it.
5 stars.
Yell
Do
at
it, you
them.
fucks.
Tell them.
And,
Fucking leave a review, you cunt!
In the next episode, you can make some money because here we are, making wins, making winning
No,
picks.
we can't do it next episode, though.
Why
How
not?
we gotta make picks? The lines aren't even out yet.
They have lines up 2 weeks in advance. I guarantee
Yeah,
the
but-
lines are already up.
Okay.
They're gonna change.
Just
yes.
makes it a little trickier.
Yeah, just gonna make it a little. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
We're still gonna nail it.
It's just
All right.
stupid.
Joe.
Goodbye.